Get this thing popping. Black mic is muted. That mic is on. Let me push this. Look at that. Mic check 1 2. What is this? You are now tuned into the Terry Gilbert experience. Sitting down with the 4 3 2 1 4-time 4-year starter. That boy is 3-time all SWAC, 2-time all conference. Prairie View A&M graduate. Let me see. Yeah, I can do that later.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear yourself?
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, when I hit this is when we gonna go. I'm gonna do it.
Don't hit it yet. Hold on, I gotta play around while you getting it together.
What's you got a song? You got a song out of Florida? Somebody that's popping that you love, or?
Places You'll Go by Lil Dread.
It's on Apple Music.
Yeah, it's on Apple Music. Right. Main man 4 in the studio. You feel me?
Places You'll Go. Dang, they pop right up.
Yeah, Places You'll Go.
What's up? What's up, man? What's popping? We in the studio.
About to go crazy.
Major 9 or J Nash?
Major 9.
Let's see what he got. We on. Oh.
It hit you harder than it. Okay. Yeah. All the places you'll go when you turn up on my dreams like they're too low. I gotta run it back.
Ooh,
run it back.
Hey.
You gotta start it all the way over there.
I gotta start it over? Come on. It's we ain't gonna have it on YouTube, but we gonna have it on.
Nah, I ain't know if it was loud. Like if I play it on here, they can hear it still.
Oh, nah, they can't hear it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Strap down, buckle up, better guard your grill.
Yeah.
Hit them harder than the drill. Do it for them nights, I see my mama shed tears.
All the places you'll go when you
put away your fears.
Yeah.
Turn up on my dreams like they too low. Used to ride the city bus, but now we in that too though. Do it for the people that doubt me and still do. I'm a legend in my city, hold up, let me show you proof.
Yeah, okay. Dang, man, I need some gunshots out there or something like that.
Alright, we can get it going.
Yeah, for sure, man. We got Jerome Howard in the studio, man. You are now tuned into the Terry Gilbert audio experience, man. We got none other than Jerome Howard, Prairie View A&M graduate, 4-time All-Starter, 3-time All-Conference, 2-time All-American, and he holding all the records for tackles for loss. He got the record holder for all tackles, right?
Yeah.
And tackles for loss.
Tackles, school history, and
school history, man.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, Jerome Howard. Hold on, let me turn the book around. There we go. Boom. Jerome Howard, man, and he's a author, which is why we're in here now. He's authored his own book titled "So Now What." And so, man, let's just open it up. Let's just pop it off, man.
Let's do it.
What made you want to write a book?
Well, I think some of it started from just the initial me not making it professionally and just asking myself those questions.
Yeah.
You know,
Ooh. That's tough. Is it?
We gotta start.
Is it a hard pill to swallow?
No. We just gotta start over.
What's up?
Or just, you can edit it, whatever.
Yeah, I get it.
So just ask me the same question. I come back.
Yeah, all right.
That's it.
So what made you want to write a book? Out of all things, why a book?
I think I always had it in me to write a book. I joked around about it when I was younger, and then it just hit me one day. You know, a lot of my friends reach out to me for advice or just even like getting some extra confirmation on a lot of situations. I realized that a lot of those initial feelings I felt, like not making it professionally or just having those so now what moments in life, I realized that a lot of my friends was going through that.
Yeah.
And I realized that, wow, I had a lot of insight and things to share with people. It got to the point where literally somebody every day was calling me about something or needed some insight on something. I found myself sharing a lot of those same things and principles that I share in my book titled "So Now What."
Yeah, so now what? It's crazy because what's the quote? What's that big quote about athletes not going pro, or 90% of athletes go pro in something other than sports.
Correct.
And so it's crazy. All right, so I'm reading the book. I'm going through the book. I'm like, man, this book is dope. You popped it off kind of like, oh boy. Like that first line was like, you hear that quote. Everybody say this when you growing up. Pop Warner, I don't care what, if you sing, you dance, you do something that
Don't
you
forget
strive
about me when you make it.
Man, don't forget about me when you make it. Everybody done heard that. I promise you, every little league player that's really good, that the fastest kid out there, or you don't even have to be the fastest, just the fact that you showed that you good.
The slightest potential.
Man, they want to know, hey, look, don't forget about me when you make it. I had people take it even a step further where they was just like, hey, man, look, I like Mercedes-Benz, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And they're like, man, it is crazy. But, so I'm reading it and I'm like, I ain't never had the flip side of it. The will you forget about me if I don't?
Yep, absolutely.
What made you pop that? Where did that come from?
I had a lot of lonely nights, man. I went through a lot of things, a lot of self-evaluation, looking myself in the mirror, asking myself a lot of uncomfortable questions, having a lot of uncomfortable conversations with myself.
Yeah.
And I know the feeling of betrayal, that I felt like, wow, these are people I talk to every day. These are people that really, held a solid place in my heart, and they treat me different now because my occupation changed, my title changed, or my status in life changed, and these people,
man,
like I did did my pro day training in Atlanta at Chip Smith Performance Systems, and dude, man, we would train like 6 hours a day. And I can recall days just going home because I was staying with my aunt at the time. It was like a 6 to 8 week thing.
I was a training.
Yes, pro day training. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I did my last semester online, most of the semester. Then I came back to PV the last 6 weeks and finished that part in class and walked the stage. And I can recall having literally 28 missed calls, 64 messages, and this was like a consistent thing.
People just calling.
Hey man, what's going on? Family, nephew, what's going on? I haven't spoke to you in a while. This, you know what I mean? Or people, hey man, how's the training going? I'm rooting for you. Things of that nature. And then it's like when things don't go as planned, or because again, when you hear the things that I've done at Prairie View, it's like, he's gonna make some noise. He should be rich, so he's gonna have a lot. People just kind of. And you on every tackle.
You on every tackle. Jerome Howard, number 40 on the tackle.
Right. So people have they make up their mind. They have their perceived notion that this dude's going to be successful. He'll be the next best thing out of Prairie View. So people almost want to put in their tickets ahead of time. Like, let me just go ahead and build that relationship with him. I know where he's going.
That's that fake love.
So, you know it.
Yeah.
It comes with the territory.
That's that fake love. All right, so let's take it back a little bit. Let's take it back to like early on. When you so in the book in the beginning you talked about coming up as a youngin, playing, Pop Warner, being in South Florida growing up. But like I seen something when, like, in the book, it was where you were speaking, and it was more so like you seen a vision for yourself at an early age in high school. It was like, nah, I'm not really gonna go that way that everybody else is going, or like I see that I can get something out of this. Well, talk to me, like, how did you have the vision, or what made you have a vision and then the others didn't have the same vision that you had? Like, how was...
Man, nothing but the grace of God, honestly. Yeah. I think it was 99% of the grace of God, and then 1% of something. Just a light bulb went off one day. Like, you know what?
That's what I was thinking.
If I see you put your hand on the stove and you burn your hand, I don't want to make that same mistake. So I'm going to find some kind of way to make a different mistake. And I think just seeing it as a freshman, seeing guys who I just thought were so good and just extremely talented, and they just never could take it to the next level, whether it was grades, whether it was other off the field issues of that nature. Then I was blessed to play varsity as a sophomore, where traditionally you have to wait until your junior year. So now I had a more insight actually being on varsity and seeing these guys who were starting in front of me, these guys who I just thought were so great, and they had all the scholarships, but they never sealed the deal. They never would, again, whether it was things they were doing off the field, illegal activities they may have got into, or just never getting their grades right. And it was like, wow, you know what? If I ever get that opportunity, I'm going to make a different mistake. And
you seen that at an early age. It was just like it kind of attracted you to it, or like, what was that moment? What was that? Because I know in the book you said you saw people getting scholarships, and then you was like, oh, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, because in my family, I'm the first one to go to college. I'm the first one to even get an athletic scholarship. So even college football, it was something to watch on Saturdays, or I would watch the throwback games on Wednesday or Thursday, but it was never a true conversation I was having with myself, like, you might be able to play college football one day, because we don't talk about college in my household. Like now, that's something I'm trying. I'm on a mission trying to shift the culture, but that's not a common conversation in my household.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because in the book you talked about something that I resonate with. We had something in common because I grew up. You had a brother and a sister, right?
Right.
And so I grew up as an only child. I now have a brother and a sister. But you talked about the dinner table. You talked about like that not being a thing. And so like how do you think that affected you growing up as far as like being able to transition without having that thing that people think that we all need? What skills did you get by not having that? What skills did you gain?
I think being younger is one of those you don't know what you don't know type of things. And then as you get older again, you start, because when you're younger, that's just how life is.
Yeah.
And a lot of your friends are still dealing with the same issues. A lot of times we hang with people because they share the same symptoms or deficiencies as us. Like my dad's not around, his dad's not around, so we may become cool because of those similarities. But as you get older, you start hanging out with other friends or you get exposed to other things. Like, wow, this isn't how life should be.
Exactly.
It's more to life than this.
Exactly, man.
And then you start to see some of the things that you're missing out on.
Were you more independent?
Yeah, extremely. I don't think it was by choice. I think just, again, due to my upbringing.
Circumstances.
Yeah, I've been a man before I was the man.
Exactly.
I've been a man at like 6.
Own it and make you kind of take up for your own responsibility a little bit. If you don't have those moments to where ain't nobody checking your report card or like you gotta go, they trusting you to do what, hey, I'm sending you to school to go make good grades, behave and do all this and that, but you kind of gotta like gain your own independence at an early age.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I resonated with that. I was just like, dang, I really had to do the same thing. My mama wasn't able to come home from work and be off at a decent time to where I'm there. Like I done already bathed and did everything.
Yeah, and again, a lot of our parents, I'm pretty sure you can resonate with this. Like our parents, they may not have had degrees. They may not have had certain resources that we had to things. So now it's kind of like they may be juggling 2 to 3 different jobs at one time. So again, when they do get home, it's kind of like, hey, I just want to feed you. I just want to whatever. Like I get back up for my next job. I got to be there at 6. So I got to be up at 4:30, and I want to make sure you guys have breakfast. They're not neglecting us by not intentionally. They're doing their best, but due to the scenario, this is what it is. So something we have to compensate for their.
Exactly. It was another part in there that I wanted to talk about that really stood out. And I just wrote down like a quick note, and I put skill assessment because it was a part in the book where you noticed like it's something I need to do to make myself stand out. And you talked about, and I think
the example of that one that you're speaking about is with football when it came to sports. And the example I spoke about was that I learned very early that I was not good.
Yeah.
And then I learned, okay, what are the things I can control the fastest?
Exactly.
What are the 1 or 2 things I can work on that may fix
I think
3 to 4 other
that.
areas? Yeah. So for me, I won't get into the details of it. I don't want to kind of people who may not be into sports as much. But let's just say I wasn't big, I wasn't strong, and I wasn't fast.
When you think football, it's how you think big, fast, strong.
Right. So there's like, okay, even colleges, they'll come in like, hey, he may not be that fast, but is he big? Because even if he's not strong, we can get him stronger, and that can have an inverse relationship with his speed. Then it's like, okay, is he fast? Because if he's fast, then we can get him stronger, and then that might get him bigger also. But it's like, wait, so this kid is not big, he's not strong, he's not fast. And now that I think about it, I remember being about 5'6" many years in my life. I don't think I truly grew until like maybe the end of my sophomore year, going into 11th grade. I think I may have grew like 2 or 3 inches. And then I got right at 6 foot, like right around scholarship time. So I was like 5'10" and a half, 5'11" for a long time.
Yeah.
And then I'm stuck at 6 foot now, of course, but I've been there a while.
And the part was like you was able to use your instincts, and you was able to use your IQ.
So that's where I was getting at with that. So I realized that those things I couldn't change as fast. So, I had a coach, Mike S.H.E.C, and it was just something he seen in me, and I used to hate it because he instilled sacrifice in me and that discipline, and I hated it because think about it, I'm a sophomore, I'm on varsity, I'm not starting, so I'm like, why can't I go enjoy lunch with my friends?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you're gonna come in here with me, and if you don't, you're gonna, do extra conditioning, the burpees, whatever. He just felt like doing that.
They always want to do it like
something.
that. They want to do you dirty, man.
And then what ended up happening was he started instilling those habits in me, and I said, wow, wait, this could be my secret stuff. Like, this could be the thing that really separates me. That I've been, just praying about, because I'm like, okay, I can't get bigger, can't get stronger, can't get faster. Then I said, okay, what I can do is this. I know if this guy is faster than me, which most running backs are faster than linebackers. He's more agile than me. The very best thing I can do at this point is get to him before he can get to me. Yeah. So if I can get to him before he picks up speed and before he can get into his strength, and I can make him play my game, I have a better chance of winning that battle.
And you basically use what you had.
Yep, so I use what I had.
You look at your toolbox, you was able to assess your skills. Yeah. And I think that's important, like, in life in general.
That's a life skill for sure.
You got to assess what you got. Like, this is what I'm good at, and this is how I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it to the best of my benefits to get me to where I want to go. Like, having that goal. And then, like, all right, this is my tools that this is what I got. This is what God gave me.
Right.
I'm going to use this. It may not be what they got. It may not be what he got. But I'm going to use mine. And I'm going to craft it in a way to where I can get to what my goal is.
Absolutely. And even if you're a business owner or even an aspiring entrepreneur, that's a strong asset to have as well, understanding what you're good at so you can get the team of people around you that can fulfill your, I wouldn't necessarily say weaknesses, but your area of opportunity.
That's extremely important. And that all came from you playing football.
But it turned into a life lesson.
And then it turned into a life lesson. I know there's somebody listening, and there's people out there that, like, they may have not played football. They may have done some other sports event, or maybe not even sports. They may have done something else in a group activity to where they had to use some type of skills to get a goal. And so, like, you literally have to do not skill assessment, but self-assessment and really figure out, like, all right, who am I? What am I good at? And what can I use to get to where I want to go?
Right.
And so I thought, like, and I'm just reading it, and it's just football. Of course, we both play football, so I can see.
There's so many lessons that correlate to life.
Man, it's so many lessons in sports that could just transfer over. And now you're a business owner, and you're able to use that same lesson that you learned back when you was 12, 14 years old as a teenager playing high school football.
Correct.
Like, I think that was crazy. Well, it wasn't crazy. I think that was, like, wild that just thinking back, like, sometimes all you got to do is think back on, like, life and be like, nah, I know how to navigate
I've been here
this.
before.
Yeah. Let's jump into this is crazy when I was reading the book. The book is so good, man. Y'all gotta cop this book. We definitely gonna link it up. So Now What by Jerome Howard. November 12th, 2015. Walk me through it. The emotions, walk me through that date. Walk me through all of it.
November 12th.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay.
November 12th, 2015.
So we're playing the Alcorn Braves rivalry game in our conference. At the time, we're up and down. If we win this game.
Who is we?
We as in Prairie View
PVAMU.
PVAMU.
Yeah.
So at this time, I was a freshman. I was starting, but I was kind of still rotating in and out because the guy in front of me was a red shirt junior. So he already was in the program for like 3 years. And I was playing, but being a freshman, you don't really have much say-so on how things go. So they were kind of like, you know what, you're a freshman, so you're going to play on defense. You're going to be on every special team. You're going to be where we need you, whatever. Again, I'm that kid from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm just happy to be on the team. Nobody in my family's ever done this. So I'm like, listen, if you tell me to jump, just tell me how many times, how high. I'm just blessed to be here.
Yeah.
And I'm huge on energy, and it's crazy because, like, something told me, like, that play before I went out, something about my legs just didn't feel right.
Oh, really?
And I went up to our special teams coach, and I said, hey, coach, can I sit this one out? Something's just... He said, what? You kidding me? You're a freshman. Get out here. I said, coach.
Yeah.
Like, something not feeling right. Yeah. Like,
oh, wow. Dang.
Like, I don't even want to get too deep on that, but the energy's real. Like, I know when stuff is just...
Because I told my ACL, too, not to interrupt you. I told my ACL also, but I didn't know that I was going to, like, I didn't have no energy. It just pop. I heard the pop, and I was just, Yeah,
like, again, I didn't think it was going to be that, but I just knew something didn't feel right. And what ended up happening was we go down on kickoff. I'm running down. And the guy's coming to block me. And I put my right leg into the ground, and I cross over to go left. And right as I put my left foot in the ground, the guy comes, and my knee just gives out. So now I find myself trying to hold on to the guy for dear life, just seeking stability and just balance at this point.
Man.
And I just fall down and I just go to reaching for my knee. But I knew already before the guy even touched me that I was hurt. I was almost just hoping he hurry up and just threw me down just to
get it.
It was almost like a roller coaster. You don't know where you're going. I'm like, I'm almost holding him, like, bring me down with you so I want to land on you or something. Like, let's find a way to lessen this damage. But I knew something was wrong, and I just... But again, as a freshman, what are you going to say?
Freshman, tore your ACL. You done made it. So you done made it all the way through high school. You done got the scholarship. You at Prairie View. You done worked your way up the ladder. You had people in front of you, and now you starting. as a freshman, and then you tear your ACL. Like, what? Like the emotions you thinking? What are you thinking after you tore your ACL? What do you think? You like?
Well, prior to that, I never really had a true injury.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I didn't. I mean, it was high school, and then again, as most people in high school, it's like, okay, even if you get an injury, once the pain subsides, it's like I'm no longer hurt.
Yeah.
So this was my first true injury, and they're like, yeah, you got to have surgery. I'm like, when? Tomorrow.
Oh.
Like, wait. I'm like, wait. How did my life get from this to that?
Yeah. And everything stopped right
everything
there.
Stopped. And then I think the most difficult part for it at my age at the time was sometimes you have a false sense of importance, is what I like to call it.
Ooh.
And then you start to realize that, wow, this show's going on without me.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in high school and all these things, you're used to being that big kid in a small arena.
Yeah.
And then you realize that, yep, they're still going to practice tomorrow. They're still going to work out without you. The
man,
team
the
is still going to play. And you're
on.
like, the show goes on. You're like, wow. And I think that's
crazy.
what hurts the most, just coming from high school and having that false sense of reality and also that false sense of importance. You just feel like, the team won't win without me. They won't. No, they're going to win without you. They're going to find somebody else.
Yeah.
And
the next
when
man
the
is
season
up.
ends, the coach will go, we had some coaches who were pretty honest. They'll tell you, like, every offseason, I'm going to find your replacement.
Ooh.
That's my job, to find your replacement. So I think
put
it's
that
like,
fire up under you.
Yeah, so imagine being a kid that's hurt.
Your freshman year.
And again, and that was one of those, I had to develop some tough skin for that one, because it was like, again, that false sense of importance. I'm like, man, I came away from Florida. I helped you guys out. And
you're
like,
an out-of-state student. Nonetheless, you're an athlete, and it's your freshman year, so you got all the stuff that freshmen got to deal with, and you out there on the field, and you starting, and then you tell your ACL.
Yeah, you're going to get this surgery, but guess what? The team is going to continue to play. They're still going to continue to prepare for the next opponent as scheduled. Exactly. And then you start to say, wow, maybe I'm not as important or not as, the show will go on. And in high school, because in high school, you can become that big fish in a small pond. Yeah. Where in high school, if the top 1 or 2 guys get hurt, that may affect the team's entire season. Whereas in college, these guys are going out and they're strategically hand selecting and recruiting certain athletes that they want to have, and they're preparing for those rainy days or for those injuries. Yeah. Whereas, so now it's like, wow, you get hurt and it's somebody else who's probably just as good, if not better than you in your position. And then my coaches were extremely honest with you. They would, I remember getting my surgery and they'll tell you like, hey, you feeling okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing better. The swelling going down? Yeah, it's getting better. Yeah. How about you, coach? Nothing much. You just I'm going to find your replacement. Like, wait, what? I remember calling my grandma like, Grandma, do you know what this coach just told me? Yeah. I just hurt my knee less than 2 weeks ago. I just had to have surgery. Keep in mind, I was a kid who never had any true injuries prior to college. A few ankle sprains here and there, just typically being a kid and being around sports. Yeah. Because I also wrestled in high school, so I had a few ankle injuries and things of that sort. But it's like, this coach just really told me he's going to find my replacement. And I almost felt like I put my life on the line for you guys. So that taught me a lot in the business world too, about just developing tough skin and keeping your eyes on the prize. Because a lot of people in that scenario would have got caught up in the distractions and things of that sort. When
a lot of people get sad, they get down on themselves. Like, I ain't gonna never get back to who I was before this. That's like a mental thing. How was you able to overcome that mental block of like getting past the injury? Because some people come back from that and some people don't.
Yeah, it's definitely technology's played a big role in it. Just technology being integrative and having the exposure to things out. But I think what's helped me the most are just my spiritual upbringing. My grandmother, she's my favorite person in the world. Her and I communicate often, and she's someone of just that old faith that a tornado can come through the house right now. She can say, well, you know what, God, I've been waiting to get a new home anyway. Or, you know what, God, I won't complain because there was a time when I didn't have this roof at all and you still left the door even though everything else in the house is gone. So I'll thank you for that. Whereas someone our age is like, wait, Grandma, we don't have a house. The roof is gone.
No, you're right.
So just falling back, just having her, she's my favorite person.
Wow,
just having her in my corner to keep me grounded in the faith regards. And then I was blessed to have my best friend, Terrence Mitchell.
Yeah.
Many people know him as T or Chick, a man of many nicknames.
Yeah.
I was blessed to have him there with me at all. Also, I'm sorry. And
gotta have people. He
was my roommate,
with you.
And we grew up together in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We went to high school together. We basically lived together before we got to college. Yeah. So he was there for me.
Having him as support. Yeah, no, that's good.
And he's someone who wouldn't let me settle for good. He knew that my goal was greatness. So he was on me. He was whatever I needed. And then the best part about it was, we're from the same hometown. Yeah. So when I went home, he was also there. And
I think that was good
extremely close. So it was never missing a beat. He did whatever he could to communicate with my mom, let her know the truth, and this going on, that's going on. Even when I didn't want to communicate certain things, he did a good job of standing in my corner.
Yeah,
so
kept you on point.
Yeah.
This is a great segue into like one of the parts in the book, because you was talking about your grandmother just a second ago. You list a few people in the book that you think about when you think of the word success or successful, and you list 3 women, 2 of which are your grandmothers.
Correct.
But one is Michelle Obama.
Correct.
What was the reason behind listing Michelle Obama?
The big thing with Michelle Obama is understanding the platform, understanding opportunity.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we overlook opportunities. We don't maximize on opportunity. But Michelle Obama did a great job, in my opinion, of taking advantage of her opportunity without taking advantage of her opportunity.
Yeah.
So obviously she's, first lady to Michelle, Barack Obama.
Yeah.
But she did a great job of, for one, also making her own name and understanding the platform that she did have and use that for the betterment of others.
Yeah.
So many people don't know the great things that she's done.
Exactly.
Schools, she's the free lunch, and then also doing a lot of things with women. She's had different, not
you
necessarily
listed
farms.
all of
There's a lot of
those.
stuff that I listed in there that she's done as far as bringing the awareness to different organic foods and pesticides and things of that sort. So I'm all about that. Like anytime, understanding that blessing isn't just for you. I believe that God puts us in a lot of places sometimes to bless and glorify others and to help for the betterment of other people. But I think sometimes we get in those positions and get, again, we get that false sense of importance.
Yep.
I'm self-made. I made it because I'm here. I don't care about anybody else in the world. This is my time to shine. This is this, that. But it's like no one is going to live forever.
Yeah,
and I think the goal for all of us should be to impact other people and to create something, or just to use our platform for the betterment of others.
Yes.
So that's what that was the reason behind the Michelle Obama.
Yeah, that's a great message, to use your platform to help others.
Yeah, none of us will be here forever.
Exactly. You're right.
Even for myself.
So you should try to affect someone else other than yourself.
Exactly, because a goal that I wanted, that's when my time does come, when he decides to call me home, I want him and I to be able to look back and he said, you know what? I gave you X amount of time on earth. These are the gifts and tools I gave you.
Yeah.
Job well done, because you help and you impact other people.
Nah, that's dope, man. That's dope, man. You talk about faith a lot in the book. There's an acronym that you got. What does S.H.E.C stand for?
So that stands for Stay Humble, Eat Crumbs. It's something a bunch of Terrence Mitchell.
Yeah.
He was also included in that, but a lot of my close friends, we all went to high school together,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually came up with it one day. I forgot, we were joking around.
Stay humble.
It was always like stay humble. You know what it was? That was around the time where guys were doing you would make a big play and you would act like you're eating cereal. Food, like I'm eating. And I just said it one day, like, no, we're not getting full. We eating crumbs. You'll never get full eating crumbs. Like stay humble, eat crumbs, and and we just started saying it. And a lot of people think that when they hear it, they think it's a gang or it's a clique, or it's nothing of that. It's simply a reminder to stay true to your upbringing, your values, your morals, your principles, your character, things of that. So it has nothing to do with a gang or a neighborhood. We just all happen to be from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but it has nothing to do with a gang. It's all for positivity. And now, honestly, like if you hashtag it or you look at, a lot of people actually say it now. Like every now and then I'll get bored and go on social media. There's people like in Indiana, people in Canada.
Stay humble, eat crumbs.
Or they might just say S.H.E.C.
And they put you in that mind frame of like going to get it.
Yeah, and it's also like, so I can be on the phone with one of them and I may feel like they get beside themselves, or it could be something where they're like, they might, again, they have that false sense of importance, or their ego may get in the way. I may say, S.H.E.C. You're right. I'm getting beside. So it's like, stay humble, eat crumbs. Again, it's like, stay true to your upbringing, your core values.
Nah, that's good, man. That's definitely good. Talk about, that brings me to that moment, because we both played under Coach Northern.
Right.
And man, this dude was a man of many quotes.
Man,
the guy was just, I don't want to say he was ruthless, but he just had that sense of like, he possessed that sense of fear within himself. It's just like, hey, it's going to happen like this. Come hell or high water, Coach. You're going to get it done this way, you're going to get it done my way.
Remember what he told us every day before practice?
What was it?
You will become me before I become you.
Hey, man, it was like, I felt like I was a part of the military, man.
No doubt about it.
I felt like, man, he grew up in that household, but like he really impacted us with some of his quotes, man. He had some of the craziest things, or some of the really good things about getting out your own boat, sacrificing for the team. Man, talk about that moment where I think y'all were driving back. We had just won a game. Prairie just beat. Who did we just beat?
So it was a homecoming game. We had just played Mississippi Valley, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And again, it's homecoming. There's the tailgate. We have a bunch of festivities going on. I actually ended up catching an interception that game.
Yeah,
you
did your thing.
And I took the interception back for a touchdown. I had a couple big highlight plays. Courtney Brown, Buddha is also his nickname. Him and I are really close. And so after Terrence was in town also, we had a bunch of guys. So it's homecoming. We had a great game. Coach always got on us about playing in all three components, offense, defense, and special teams. We did a great job of doing all three of those. And he was been on us about the last 4 or 5 weeks or so before that. Mm-hmm. So we're like, finally, we won the game. It's homecoming. The fans are happy. The alumni is happy. There's the tailgate. So now, of course, there are different parties and things. We go and hang out.
Yeah, go party.
So now we're returning back on campus. And we're like, wait, Coach's light is on.
The man is
and I just had, again,
in the office.
We had a football game. We had the tailgate, which went on for hours. That doesn't end until like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
All the RVs were pretty much gone. And we're driving back on campus. It had to be between 2 and 3 a.m., if not later.
Yeah.
And we see his car there, or his truck.
Uh-huh.
And we see the light on.
Yeah.
We're like, we just look at each other. We're all quiet. We're like, wait, why is Coach here? So, of course, we go there, we park.
We're
like, something has to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And we go there, and Coach is wide awake, spinning around in his chair, listening to Lil Boosie. He's from Louisiana, so
he turned up.
Yeah, it's Lil Boosie greatest hits on Pandora.
Yeah.
And he's watching film.
That's crazy.
And we're like, Coach was going. So Buddha is also from Louisiana. He's a Louisiana native. He jokes around with him saying, Coach, you seen that touchdown I had today? You seen that big run? You like that? Because Buddha was starting to jump over people and do some exciting things that was like, wow. And he was like, yeah. And we look like,
okay.
He's like, Coach, you seen 40 interception? He's like, you like that? You didn't know 40 was that fast, did you? Yeah. He did what he was supposed to do. Good play.
That's him to the
T. It's like it's no pleasing him. There's never a, and then then the core message that I'll never forget that he got from that was, because he had a wall full of notes already. And keep in mind, we just played our previous opponent maybe less than 4 or 5 hours ago. And he said,
just won, too.
Yeah, and we just won. And again, it's homecoming, everything. And it's like, he said, your biggest enemy is your previous success.
Yeah.
Never get comfortable. He said, you guys did what you're supposed to do. You went out and you won. Now let's get focused on the next game. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, you guys head over to your dorm room, shoot me a text message when you make it. So I know, again, it was 25-second drive. He's like, shoot me a text message when you make it, get some sleep, and I'll see you back at 9 in the morning. Coach, what's going on? Like, we just won. Coach, this is homecoming. We just won.
It's crazy,
But that was a life lesson for me. Like, again, so much. It impacted me because I realized that. And it goes back to another quote that also in the book that Coach Northern stated is, nobody cares about the baby.
Wow.
I'm sorry, nobody cares about the labor. They only want to see the baby.
Yeah.
And that was another key component. Kind of goes hand in hand. What he said is like, nobody cares. We did what we were supposed to do. People expected us to win this homecoming. That's fine. Now let's get back focused on the next thing, because if you get too comfortable, get too caught up in that previous success, now what are you doing for that future success?
Yeah, just reading that. When I was reading it, and maybe because I'm privy to it, because I know who Coach Northern is, and I know his personality, it really struck me. It was just like, wow, like the man, like he's in the office looking at film for the next game. He breaking down film and he's trying to adjust and do after he just won. And it just goes to that mind frame of like, man, never being satisfied. Just knowing that, like, hey, you did good, you did something good, now let's try to do better. Always staying hungry, and it goes to that stay hungry, eat crumbs.
Correct.
It all
stay humble, eat crumbs.
Stay humble, eat crumbs. It all kind of goes into it together. It all works together, and I was just like, wow, that was a moment that like you probably never forget. Like,
I'll never forget that.
Yeah, I know that was a moment that impacted you. I was just like, wow, I know that struck them, because I know how he is about like things. He's a certain way, and he wants to make sure that he's on top of his game.
Correct. And I think also something that's huge in that too is staying focused on your personal goals and your personal expectations.
Yeah.
Because if we get caught up in what the fans and the fanatics, the alumni, one thing about Coach Northern was he had his own set of rules and expectations, and we were going to not only meet that but supersede that, so he could come up with some more insane goals to challenge himself.
He demanded it.
He demanded greatness from himself, and I think that's something that's I definitely try to attribute into my personal life now, even my career paths, because it's like Again,
how does
most
that affect
people,
you in business?
That same. You know, you may get and for me, I do have a weakness sometimes of I do have to slow down and enjoy the moment a tad bit. But I think I just have that laser focus, and I have certain expectations where for other people they're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened. Well, for me it's like I expected that to happen.
Yeah.
Some of it is my work ethic. A lot of it is just because knowing what God can do in previous situations He's brought me through. But I just have a certain I expect greatness for myself. Like a lot of again, when things happen, it surprises a lot of people. Yeah. But to me, it's like I was just waiting. I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, you've been working.
Yeah. But that goes to another point that I definitely want to speak about, which is working while you're in the waiting room. So we all know that faith without work is dead. Yeah. But a lot of times I think that we don't put our work in also. Yeah. We can almost put too much on God if we're not careful. Ooh. And I don't want to. My spiritual warriors may be. Yeah, they may be ready to tune out, but I want them to actually hear me out. It's like sometimes we can. God, please give me this job. Please give me. But it's like, what are you doing to prepare yourself for that job? Or you know, you may currently be at this position, but you want to get at that level. But why not act like you're there already? Yeah. How does this person conduct themselves? How do they dress? How do they talk? How do they, work like you're there already? Exactly. Or keep working while you're in the waiting room while God is working those things out and you haven't met your ordained time for that. Yeah. Let's go ahead and act that way. And we can talk. I'll bring it back to sports again. Being a freshman, let's just say you're a red shirt guy, meaning you won't play in any actual games, but you want to be the starter one day. If you see this is how the starter is practicing, this is how he's watching film, this is how he's handling his academics. Don't wait until you become the starter or hope that you become the starter, and now you try to turn that switch on. Yeah, a quote comes to my head is like, what you do in private is what you'll be rewarded for in public. And so, that definitely, man, that's huge. That's huge. The timing is huge. Yeah, because if you have true faith, you should know that it's going to happen. Something's good is going to happen. Keep working. So if you already know it's going to happen, the best thing you can do is prepare yourself when you're in. So when it does come to the light. What if I get tired, bro? What if I see it's not working? What do I do? You had faith saying it was going to work. Yeah. And then also you want to do your best. So one thing that's helped me with sports, and I think I see a lot of my teammates screw this up also, is people, and it goes back to working while you're in the waiting room. People do just enough. People play it safe. Just to get by. Nobody gives their best, right? Yeah. So now when things don't happen that way, they have that uncomfortable conversation with themselves. Now it's like, wow, did God have another plan or did I just not do my best? So that's why you have guys who stop playing football 12, and just my opinion, of course, you got guys who stopped playing football 6, 8, 12 years ago, yet they just can't let it go. Yeah. And I think a part of it, a lot of times it's not even the sport. It's I didn't do my best, so that what if always jumps on them. I try to do my best, even in all areas of my life, with friendships, with relationships, with career opportunities, network opportunities, with all areas of my life. I try my best to go all out. So even in a friendship, if I said, you know what, I've been the best friend I can be to this person. You know what, God, I hear you. Maybe it's time for this friendship to end. Yeah. I can do that because I know I did my best. Yeah. In a relationship, I can say, hey, I've been the best boyfriend I can be to this person. Yeah. Now, if it does get to a point where I got to have that conversation of possibly going another route, I can pray about it. I can say, you know what, God, I hear you. It's time to go another route. Because you did your part. I did my best. But a lot of times we don't do our best, so we doing just enough to get by. We're doing just enough. With sports, we see it all the time. Guys try to turn that clock on when you got 6 weeks to prepare for pro day. And now you want to turn that clock on and try to work hard, but you just did bare minimum, if not lower than that, the last 4 years. One of the examples you gave was like I forgot the quote, but it was one of those examples. I know everybody knows this, or they've done this before, is where you slack in the beginning of the school year, then at the end of the school year, you try to come and make it up. We spoke about the rat race. The rat race, yeah. And that's the same exact thing. So for those who haven't read the book, The Rat Race, what I referred to was myself making a common mistake that many high school students, I wouldn't even just say athletes, but high school students make it. Students. Yeah, you get to high school. You slack off the first 2 years. You slack off the first 2 years. You don't do your best. You perform subpar to your maximum performance, and then your last year or two, now you try to go ahead and do things that you should have happened and try to make up for it. But often those first 2 years are still hindering and delaying the maximum grades you can get your last 2 years. So now, again, you find yourself in a rat race. Even though you may get a 4.0 one semester, but those first 2 years had it where your GPA is a 2.2. So even though you got a 4.0, you're only going up to 2.5 or 2.4. Exactly. And you only have so much. So now you're again, just like that rat in the the hamster wheel just going around in a circle. He's never going anywhere, but he's just killing himself going in that circle.
Yeah.
So that's similar to what we call a rat race.
Yeah. Let's change places a little bit before you get out of here. It was another coach that I wanted to touch on. Coach McDowell. You referenced Coach McDowell like 6 or 7 times in the book, and I know Coach McDowell. You know, he played in the NFL.
Right.
He has like a lot of jewels, a lot of gems. What is your relationship like with Coach McDowell?
Me and Coach McDowell are extremely close. We may be closer now that I'm out of college than we were in college. But I think now, because I've also seen a lot of the things he was trying to tell me, I've seen them firsthand for myself. And he was extremely spiritual also. Yeah. Coach McDowell is often you will see him before you hear him. He's very quiet, very to himself. Like he's extremely spiritual, and he's just a great person all in all. And again, I think what helps us the most now is understanding the way we both see life and see the platform. We have conversations like, wow, we won't be here forever, so we want to create something that will live much longer than us.
How did their relationship continue after you left? Because you said y'all really didn't have that relationship.
Well, we had that relationship, I think,
but it wasn't as strong.
It wasn't as strong.
How did you keep connection with them? Because I think that's an important part. Because you're all the way, and it might go to one of the chapters in the book, networking maybe.
Right.
Because they're like, you went to Florida, you back in Florida now, and he's still here in Texas.
Well, me and McDowell, he actually, I don't know if many people know that, but he actually played football at the University of Miami. So he would joke around with me like, "Hey, you don't know anything about Florida." He was like, "We were real." So if you watch like the 30 for 30, he's one of the guys walking out with the camouflage on when Miami was, doing their things and whatnot. And I think that played a role in it. And then deep down inside, good people recognize good people. Yeah. So it was always something where, I promised him like, "Coach, even when I graduate, I want to be there for you." And then just getting older. It's funny how the roles change, because now him and I talk, and being a student athlete, he was always talking to me. Now we talk to each other. So he might say, "Hey, when you were playing, what were your thoughts on this, that, now? How's a way?" And again, he's open-minded, so he calls me sometimes and say, "Hey, how's a way that I can get this athlete to understand how to play cover 2? Or what's a way that..."
Yeah, he's trying to get insight.
Yeah, get insight, because
that's dope that y'all both are benefiting from that relationship and it's still growing. And it all happened from like just meeting each other, that encounter at Prairie View while you being a student athlete and he coaching. So now that was dope, and you reference him so much in the book, and it's really good quotes in there, scriptures in there, and just his impact on you, and you can really see it throughout the book. And I was just like, wow, that's dope. Like, thought that was really good, man. That was a nice takeaway.
Yeah, Bubba's a great guy, man. That's my guy.
Nah, he is, man. Let's run through the chapters. So the first chapter, networking. The second chapter is the transition. Third chapter is mindset. Chapter 4 is success leaves clues. And chapter 5 is who you are versus what you do. Why'd you name it that? Why chapter 5? Why'd you end it like that?
So chapter 5 is actually my favorite title. If anyone's pressed for time, my favorite chapter. If anyone's pressed for time, or you don't want to believe the countless Amazon reviews and all the great feedback we've been getting, I suggest that everybody just take some time out and read chapter 5. Yeah. Because I think a lot of people, they run away from those uncomfortable moments. They don't like to look themselves in the mirror. They fear those uncomfortable conversations with themselves. And I think self-identity is something that's definitely taken a pitfall over the past few decades or so. I feel a lot of people don't take time to understand who they are. Yeah. So what happens is you get to a certain age where the world tells you who you should be, whether it's because of your status, your title, your income, whatever the case may be. And then now, when you do have those situations similar to what I spoke about earlier today, when like that pro day, when things like that, when people are called 20-something missed calls, 64 text messages, because again, people treat you according to your season. And that was just a season that I was in. So if you're not careful, and once you understand that people treat you according to your season, you understand how important it is to know yourself. So now, once you know yourself, when people shake like the leaves, or they're flaky and things of that sort, that doesn't move you, because again, when the wind is strong, when the roots are strong, you don't fear the wind. Yeah. So when you're grounded and you know who you are, that's fine. They can leave. They can whatever. Everyone's seasonal. Everyone has their time. But you have to be honest with yourself and understand that people are seasonal. Yeah. So you can't get caught up in, and I see it a lot with corporate people and with athletes. A lot of athletes, they make it professional. They're like, hey, I'm a 3rd round draft pick. So again, I can't have the $20,000 Dodge Charger because my teammate has the $200 Ferrari, $200,000 Ferrari, and he's an athlete, I'm an athlete. So, he just get caught in, but he doesn't know who he is. Yeah. So, everyone else is saying, oh, you just got to charge, it's only $20,000.
Yeah.
So, now you get caught in what you do. You know, I got to do this, I'm an athlete. And even people in the corporate world, like, a lot of people, again, so now what talks about life's endless transitions and adaptation. So, we'll just use an example of you may work for a company for 20 years, and they decide to go younger, they decide to pick someone else up. Or they decide to go in a different direction. Now you're no longer general manager. Yeah. There's a lot of people who kill themselves. You have suicide, you have depression, you have anxiety. A lot of, and not because they're bad people, but I think that, and this may not be the case for everyone, but I think that self-identity, understanding who you are, can play a big role in that. Because a lot of times we get caught up in the titles and the status. But going back to what we spoke about with stay humble, eat crumbs, they all correlate together. Once you understand your true core values, your upbringing, your character, your morals, things of that nature, now you can reflect back on those, because those won't change. And even though, hey, you may not be a general manager anymore, that doesn't mean that, if you're fortunate to be a mother or a father, you may be a sibling, you may be, you're so many other titles. That's just one title, and that has nothing. So understanding that, people will treat you according to your season. Yeah. How can you benefit them at the moment? Things of that sort. It doesn't make it right, but that's the reality of the world that we live in.
No, that's so true.
That's why you have to understand who you are. Yeah. Because again, the quote I just gave you is something I have it written in my house. When the roots are strong, you don't fear the wind. So as long as you stay grounded in God or whatever upbringing, spiritual higher power you believe in, that's just the person of my choice. Once you stay grounded in those things and your upbringing, your values, you don't fear the wind.
Exactly.
People can talk about you, they can change, they can, whether your title or your status changes, you understand how they'll react, because you know yourself.
Things gonna happen. You keep living.
You keep living.
Things gonna happen. Yeah. Nah, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. There's a lot of quotes within the book, and so it's so many different quotes, and they're really good quotes, and they go hand in hand with the chapters and the subtitles also. What's one of your favorite quotes out of the book?
That's a good one. That's the first question. My favorite quote out of the book.
I know you had some with John Wooden.
John Wooden, yeah.
I seen some of those. There was some really good quotes in there, man. I don't know which one. What was your favorite?
My favorite may be people will act. The one we spoke about at the beginning. Mm-hmm. People often ask, "Will you forget about me when you make it?"
Oh yeah. Ooh.
But the real question is, will you forget about me if I don't? Because I think that quote pretty much ties into a lot of the other quotes that are in there, similar to what we just spoke about, like understanding how people will treat you according to your season. So will you forget about me if I don't? Yeah. Or what if I did make it, but it was not in the area that you thought?
Yeah. Now, I wanted to read one of them.
That's good.
Let me see. There was one quote in here. It was like, talent is given, be humble. Fame is man-given, be grateful. Conceit is self-given, be careful. Man, that was
good. The one by John Wooden.
That was John Wooden. That was good, man. Dude, another one was, you can't let praise and criticism get to you. Talk about, so that's one quote that you hear a lot about, like, all right, you get praise and then you get criticism, but like that balance of never being too high, never being too low. Like, where did you get that from?
Just that happy medium. I think a lot of life experiences have shown me that. Mm-hmm. And again, I've been blessed. I think one of my biggest blessings, especially growing up, was to this day, I don't truly have a role model. I don't think there's no one who I'm like, I want to be like him. Yeah. I think there's small little nuggets I take from each people. Like, hey, I may like similar to the poster I have. I may like the way Michelle Obama utilized her platform. I may like the way LeBron James invests into his body. Yeah. Or different things of that sort. But the point I'm getting to was, I've seen a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. So I was blessed that I didn't have a lot of people who I said, hey, I want to be like that person, but there were a lot of people who showed me who I did not want to be like. Yeah. So there's an old saying of chew the meat and throw the bone. Yeah. So that's what I did with a lot of people. So I may see Michelle Obama. I love the way she does that. My grandmother, I love the way she prays, and I love the way she gives all the glory to God. Bernard Hopkins, I love the way he perseveres through things. So I take small nuggets from each person, and I try to create my own character or my own superhero, and try to apply all those to my life. So I take the meat and I throw the bones. Nobody's perfect, but I take what I need from each person, or those small, the good things that I want to apply to my life, and I throw what isn't relevant or the things that I don't think will value me, and I use all that to try to become the most dynamic version of myself.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. Let's talk a little bit about your business, and what you do. Like, give me the rundown. It's like, so you transitioned from school, then what happened after that?
So many people don't know I transitioned from school, and I actually was a substitute teacher for a year.
Okay, substitute teacher.
Yep, at my alma mater, Plantation High School, and I also did a couple months at Plantation Elementary School.
Oh wow!
Both down.
That was it. That was in the waiting room, huh?
Yep, working while you're in the waiting room.
Yeah.
See, yep.
Man,
so I knew that some kind of way. I remember even Javante Ham, which is also a teammate of mine at Prairie View and at Plantation High School. He would come down on breaks. He would say, "Man, you're so much better than this. You're better than this. You need to just find another job. This can't be it for you, man." And I'm saying, listen.
Yeah, he couldn't
If
see through your glasses.
God can't trust me with this.
Yeah.
If I'm not maxing out on this, why would He give me more?
Yeah.
So what I did, God, this where you got me right now. I'm gonna do the best with this right now. I'm
grind it out.
I'm gonna grind it out.
Man.
So when you do give me something bigger, He says, you know what? I know that I can trust you because when I gave you that small, you were grateful with that small amount.
Yeah.
And now I can trust you with more.
Uh-huh.
So I was working while I was in the waiting room. I didn't know how it was going to work. I didn't know what my next job would be. I didn't know what the case was. But I knew that I knew I had to max out on what I had.
So how did you get to the business?
How did I got to the business? So Ryan Shazier was Ryan Shazier is a good friend of mine. Ryan Shazier is a standout linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He got drafted first round.
Yeah.
His first 2 years, he made some good moments, but he was kind of getting hit with the injury bug. Couple injuries here and there, and he wanted someone who could come in and kind of give him that individual push in season and off season, work with him year round and keep some things going. So initially I started off just only working with Ryan. I didn't want to focus on anyone else. I just kind of wanted
personal training.
Personal training.
Yeah.
And once I got there, I realized that I started learning more about the recovery, learning about nutrition, and I just started slowly putting together my own methodology.
Oh wow,
my own
the business
insight.
came to you.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yep. So it kind of worked out that way, and then from there it was like, again, I don't ever want to be selfish or limit my gifts or things of that such. So I still make sure he was good. I was like, wow, if I can see because every year I've been with him, he's made the Pro Bowl. He's also had career best seasons. So I'm like, wow, if this can happen with him, what if I do this with more people? And now I even do a lot with the youth now because like, hey, if these things are happening with professional athletes, imagine if I can integrate some of these with a kid being in 9th and 10th grade.
So how many people are you training on a day-to-day basis?
It varies on the day, but usually, because I've been traveling a ton also, but usually when I am in town, I would say I can have anywhere between 4 and 7 sessions a day.
Oh yeah.
Of just training in and out. But all of my sessions are one-on-one based.
Yeah.
Then I can also have other things going on outside of that.
Nah,
but again, I have been traveling a ton doing like the opening with Nike.
Oh, okay.
I've done Daytona 500 with some of their national.
Yeah, man, you've been all over the place.
I spent a lot of time working on this book too. So I was mitigating a couple hours each day, just solely focusing on that, where I wasn't training people.
I see. And there's a lot that we didn't get into right now, even though we're about to wrap up a little bit. But there's a lot we didn't get into. You got to pick up this book on Amazon. You can actually hit his website. Also, plug your website.
It's www.traindynamicpd, TrainDynamicPD.com.
Yeah, and there's a lot like what he was just saying you was doing here, bits and pieces with the book. I know there's a point in here where you talk about compounded interest, where you talking about like that 1%, getting 1% better over time,
right,
and see what it builds up to. So there's so many jewels in this book. You definitely should go out and get it. The last question I have for you, man, you're a college grad, you're a business owner, author now. So
now what? I actually got some great things in store coming up that's going to be bigger than anything I've done so far. Some of them are currently under NDA, which is non-disclosure agreement.
You got some top secrets.
Top certain things that are top secret between some other companies. Now we're thinking about doing some things, but I can't discuss the insurances at the moment. But we do have some really big things in the works, and besides that, I'll keep praying, and whatever God wants from me, let His will be done.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Plug your Instagram, man. We're gonna follow you.
My Instagram is at Dynamic_PD, DYNAMIC_PD.
Yeah.
That's also my Facebook, and my Twitter is at Dynamic DYNAMIC_DPD, which is Dog Paul Dog.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Is there any last thing you want to?
I'm also on LinkedIn at. You just search Jerome Howard, JEROME HOWARD.
Man, thank you guys for rocking with us, man. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at @Terry Gilbert at all social media. I like to close with make sure you hustle and motivate like Nipsey Hussle, stay dangerous like YG, and liberate the people like Martin Luther King. We out.
We out.